Hi, welcome back to my channel, The Coin Studio. Today, we spotlight one such coin, the 1903's 1 peso from the United States Philippines era. A coin that doesn't just tell a story. It tells the story of a nation in transition. First up, the 1903's 1 peso coin was born in a turbulent time. After the Spanish-American War in 1898, the Philippines became a territory of the United States. But it wasn't just a change in governance, it was a total restructuring of the island's currency, economy, and infrastructure. Until 1903, the Philippines primarily used Mexican pesos, Spanish reals, and a mixture of other foreign coins. The American administration, however, had a new vision: a unified, standardized coinage system exclusively meant for the Philippine archipelago. And so, under the direction of the U.S. Congress, the Coinage Act of 1903 was passed, marking the beginning of the first U.S. Philippine coin series. The 1903's 1 peso coin wasn't just functional, it was majestic. Obverse side. On the obverse, a standing flip in a woman a flowing dress is depicted gracefully hammering an anvil, with a hammer symbolizing industry and labor. Behind her looms the volcano Mount Mayon, perfectly conical and serene, representing the natural beauty and raw power of the Philippines. This design was the work of Filipino sculptor Melcio Figueroa, a name revered in Philippine numismatics. His artistic vision helped blend local symbolism with Western ideals of productivity and progress. Reverse side. The reverse features the official coat of arms of the United States, with a bald eagle perched atop a shield, wings outstretched. Above it reads, United States of America, and below, the year 1903. It is a clear assertion of American sovereignty, broadcast through every coin that changed hands in the islands. The 1903's 1 peso coin was minted in San Francisco, as indicated by the small S mint mark below the eagle on the reverse. While over 1 million coins were struck that year, specifically 2,098,000, and most were put into circulation, and few survived in pristine condition. Specifications: weight 26.95 grams, diameter 38 millimeters, composition 90% silver, 10% copper, silver contents 0.7800 troy ounces. It was large, heavy, and beautifully struck, a coin meant not just for trade, but for propaganda, prestige, and permanence. The issuance of the 1903's peso wasn't just a monetary decision, it was political. It signaled America's intention to stay and invest deeply in the governance of the Philippines. The peso became more than currency. It was a daily reminder of colonial rule. These coins circulated alongside American and Spanish coins in markets from Manila to Cebu. For nearly half a century, this design would influence Filipino coinage, blending two cultures into one striking silver disc. While millions of 1903's pesos were made, time, war, and silver melts have taken their toll. Most of these coins show heavy wear, scratches, or cleaning damage. That's why mint stainless specimens are extremely valuable today. And this 60 example might sell for $15,000 to $20,000. But in this 65 gem, those can command upwards of $15,000 to $25,000 and beyond, depending on toning, eye appeal, and pedigree. Even well-circulated XF and O grades are highly collectible, particularly among Filipino-American collectors and global numismatists who specialize in colonial coinage. With rising value comes increased risk of counterfeits. Here's what to look for when authenticating a 1903's peso. Weight must be exactly 26.95 grams. Edge readed and consistent all around. Design details the folds of the dress, the sharpness of the volcano, and the feathers on the eagle must be clear and precise. Mint mark: the small s on the reverse must have sharp edges and correct font. Sound when dropped on a hard surface. Genuine silver gives a high-pitched ring. Fakes often sound dull. When in doubt, always buy certified coins from reputable dealers or auction houses. Coins graded by PCs or NGC are your safest bet. The 1903's 1 peso coin is more than a collectible. It's a piece of Philippine and American history struck in silver. It reminds us of colonial ambition, cultural fusion, and the enduring value of tangible history. Whether you're a serious numismatist or a beginner fascinated by the past, the 1903's peso is a coin worth chasing, studying, and treasuring. Next up, 1861 Isabella gold for peso coin. The Philippines was under Spanish rules for over 300 years, from the arrival of Miguel López de Legazpi in 1565 to the revolution that began in the 1890s. During that time, the Spanish Empire used coins as a direct extension of their colonial control, flooding the islands with reals, escudos, and eventually pesos. By the 1800s, Spain's power was waning. Political upheaval, wars, and financial crisis battered the empire. Yet in the colonies, the crown still issued coins proudly stamped with royal insignia, declarations of dominion, and the faces of monarchs far across the ocean. Among those coins, the 4-peso gold piece featuring Queen Isabella stands as a relic of imperial pride and rarest of all. It was struck specifically for the Spanish East Indies, the Philippines. Isabella became Queen of Spain at the tender age of 3. Following the death of her father, King Ferdinand V, in 1833. Her reign was marked by political instability, military coups, and liberal-conservative tug-of-war. Despite being a monarch, she spent much of her reign as a symbolic figure manipulated by court factions. But her image, serene, youthful, regal, graced coins across the Spanish Empire, including the Philippines. The 1861 gold for peso coin would be one of the most elegant and rare depictions of her rule. Let's take a closer look at the coin itself. The 1861 Isabella gold 4 peso coin is breathtakingly refined in its craftsmanship. Obverse side. A left-facing portrait of Queen Isabella, wearing a classical hair bun and minimal adornment. The inscription reads, Isabel II Porlog Rochid Edios Swilokenst. Translation: Isabella by the grace of God and the Constitution. Beneath her portrait, the year 1861. This dual claim, by the grace of God and by the Constitution, perfectly captures the turmoil of her reign. Spain was caught between divine right monarchy and emerging constitutionalism. And here it is, captured in a single line on a gold coin. Reverse side. The Spanish coat of arms, detailed with the castles of Castile and lions of Len, the pomegranate of Granada, the fleur-de-lis of the Bourbons, and the pillars of Hercules. Surrounding it are the words Reina de los Espi as Queen of the Spains and denomination for pesos. At the bottom are the mint mark and Desaire's initials, linking the coin to the Madrid mint. Every symbol was deliberate. This wasn't just currency, it was a statement of power, legacy, and legitimacy across oceans. The 1861 gold for peso coin was struck with high precision and valuable metal content. Here are its technical details. Weight 6.77 grams. Diameter 21. Compositions 0.8, even 5 fine gold 21 carats. Gold contents 0.1903 troy ounces. While small in size, its value is immense, not just due to gold, but due to its extreme rarity and fragile survival through colonial and wartime history. Unlike copper coins or silver reals, gold coins were rarely circulated among the general population. They were reserved for the elite, used in official transactions, stored in colonial treasuries, or sent back to Spain. Many never saw widespread use. And the 4 peso coin? It was produced in limited quantities, specifically for circulation in Spain's Asian colonies. Records suggest fewer than a few thousand were struck, and far fewer have survived to the modern day. War, revolution, the Japanese occupation during World War II, and mass melting of gold in the 20th century decimated their numbers. Today, it's estimated that fewer than 30 to 40 examples exist in all grades combined and less than a dozen in mint state condition. Due to its immense rarity, historical weight, and gold content, the 1861 Isabella for peso coin is one of the most valuable coins from the Philippines. A fine F-grade coin can fetch around $20,000 to $30,000. An extremely fine XF specimen might bring in $25,000 to $35,000. In mint state miser-proof-like condition, it has sold for over $40,000 to $70,000, depending on appeal and provenance. At major auctions like Rio and Calle C or heritage auctions, this coin is considered a crown jewel among collectors of Spanish colonial and Southeast Asian numismatics. As values rise, so does the risk of counterfeiting. When examining a suspected 1861 Isabella for peso coin, pay close attention to these details. Weight and diameter exact specs are essential. Strike-quality counterfeits often have soft ornave and details. Edge design authentic coins typically have a finely milled or reeded edge. Lettering and legends watch for spelling mistakes or incorrect fonts. Certification prefer coins graded and authenticated by NGC or PCs. When in doubt, consult a reputable dealer or numismatic expert before purchasing. The 1861 Isabella gold for peso coin is not just a collector's item. It's a key to understanding a lost world of Philippines ruled from across the globe. Caught between empire and awakening nationalism, it symbolizes a monarch who ruled under constant scrutiny, a people living between identities, and a global empire leaving behind small but powerful artifacts of its reach. For collectors, it is gold. For historians, it is gold layered with meaning. Next up, 1906 S1 peso coin. The most famous and most valuable regular issue coin in the history of the Philippines. The year is 1906. The Philippines is no longer a Spanish colony. Following the Spanish-American War of 1898 and the brutal Philippine-American War that followed, the United States has taken full control of the archipelago. The American colonial government set out to reorganize the currency system, replacing Spanish-era coins with new coins that bore the identity of the Philippine Islands but were struck under American authority. These coins would be minted in the United States, most notably at the San Francisco Mint marked by an S mint mark. Among them was the silver 1 peso coin, the largest silver denomination of its time. The Philippine peso, under American administration, was modeled after the silver dollar. It had to meet strict standards both in purity and in weight. The peso coins minted from 1903 to 1906 were struck in high 900 fine silver, weighing 26.95 grams and measuring 38 in diameter. They weren't just currency, they were tools of economic integration, designed to stabilize the monetary system in the colony and tie it closely to the US dollar. Let's take a closer look at the design, which is as beautiful as it is symbolic. Obverse front, a majestic figure of a Filipino woman in flowing robes, striking an anvil with a hammer. Behind her stands Mount Mayon, a symbol of natural power and grace. Below the rim, the word 1 peso. Above, Filipinas. This image, designed by Filipino artist Melcio Figueroa, represents strength, industry, and the potential of the Filipino people under the promise of a new era. Reverse back, the American eagle wing spread, perched atop a shield bearing stripes and stars. Around the edge, United States of America. At the bottom, the date 1906. Just above the date, the coveted S mint mark for San Francisco. It's a fusion of identities. The front showcases Filipino culture and strength. The back asserts American sovereignty. The coin is both art and authority, elegant yet political. Now here's where the 1906 S1 peso becomes legendary. Although official mint records show that 201,000 coins were struck that year, very few ever made it into circulation. Why? Because 1906 was the year the US Treasury changed its policy on silver coins in the Philippines. The value of silver had risen so much that it was worth more melted than its face value. The result? Most of the 1906 pesos were recalled and melted down before they were ever used. Some estimates suggest that over 90% of the 1906 pesos were destroyed, making the survivors extremely rare. So just how rare is this coin today? Most surviving examples are in circulated grades, often VF very fine or below. In mint state miscondition, it is exceptionally rare. According to PCs and NGC population reports, there are fewer than 15 known coins graded Mis 62 or higher. A true Mis 65 or better example? So rare it is considered a national treasure. This coin is so significant that top examples reside in museums or private collections, seldom changing hands. And when they do, the prices are astronomical. The 1906 S1 peso has shattered records at auction time and again. In 2019, an NGC graded Mis 65 specimen sold for over $8,000. In 2021, a higher grade PC's example fetched nearly $100,000 at public auction. And in 2023, rumors swirled of a private sale exceeding $120,000, though the details remain secretive. Collectors consider it the holy grail of regular issue Philippine coins, not just for its beauty, but for its scarcity, history, and prestige. When a coin is this valuable, fakes are inevitable. Counterfeiters have targeted the 1906 S for decades. So if you're hunting for one, beware of the red flags. Check the weight must be 26.95 grams. Check the diameter should be 38 exactly. Inspect the strike. Fakes often have weak details or strange texture. Look for reading. Authentic coins have fine, consistent edge reading. Authenticate with NGC or PCs. Don't take chances, only trust professionally graded coins. If a deal looks too good to be true, it probably is. Beyond collectors, the 1906 S1 peso holds deep national value for Filipinos. It's a symbol of resilience, artistry, and a complicated past. Struck by a foreign power, it nevertheless showcases Filipino pride and skill. Some even believe the coin should be declared an national cultural treasure, protected from export and preserved for future generations. Owning a 1906 S is not just about prestige, it's about holding a physical piece of Philippine history in your hand. The 1906 S1 peso coin stands at the crossroads of American ambition and Filipino identity. It is the rarest, the most prized, and arguably the most iconic coin in the Philippine numismatic world. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a student of history, this coin tells a story, one of beauty, scarcity, colonialism, and national pride. And if you're ever lucky enough to hold one, even for a moment, you're touching a legend. Next up, 1897 Alfonso XIII Gold 1 Peso Coin. One of the rarest and most fascinating coins in Philippine numismatic history. For over 300 years, Spain ruled the Philippine archipelago. From the arrival of Miguel López de Legazpi in the 1500s to the stormy days of the late 19th century, the Spanish crown imposed its rule, culture, religion, and of course, its coinage. But by the 1890s, the once mighty empire was cracking. Revolutionary forces were rising, led by Filipinos demanding freedom. Spain's grip was weakening, and in 1897, it would mint what would become its last ever gold peso for the colony and issue both rare and symbolic. The figure on the coin is none other than Alfonso XIII, King of Spain. But here's the twist: Alfonso became king at birth in 1886. Because his father Alfonso XIII died before he was born, that means the Alfonso XIII on coins from the 1880s and 1890s was just a child. In fact, on this very 1897 gold peso, Alfonso is only 11 years old. Coins of this era depict him in juvenile profile, youthful, innocent, yet burdened with the weight of a collapsing empire. Let's examine the artistry of this remarkable coin. Obverse front, a left-facing bust of young King Alfonso XIII. Surrounding inscription: Alfonso XIII por la G de Dios, Alfonso XIII by the grace of God. Below, the year 1897. This portrait, designed by B. Mora, captures the innocence of a boy sovereign, a sharp contrast to the turbulent reality of the Spanish Empire. Reverse back, the crowned Spanish coat of arms, with the iconic lions and castles representing Castile and Leon, and the pillars of Hercules bearing the motto Plus Ultra. Around the rim, US-Philippine as una peseta M. Mint mark M from Madrid, where this coin was struck. Despite being called a peso, this coin contains approximately 1.69 grams of gold, and it's actually equivalent to one Spanish peseta, which circulated in the Philippines as a gold peso denomination. Now comes the big question: why is the 1897 Alfonso XIII gold peso so rare? Records indicate that this coin was minted in extremely limited quantities for circulation in the Philippines. Some estimates suggest fewer than 20,000 were ever made, and of those, very few survived the chaos that followed. In 1898, the Spanish-American War erupted. Spain lost control of the Philippines, and many Spanish dare coins were melted, lost in conflict, or shipped back to Spain. Gold pesos, especially, were often hoarded, recast, or traded for higher denomination gold, making survivors exceedingly rare. The 1897 gold peso is so rare that many collectors go decades without seeing a single authentic piece. NGC and PCs have graded fewer than 50 examples combined. Of those, most are in XF extremely fine condition or below. Mint state mis examples are virtually unheard of and are considered trophy pieces in the highest level collections. It's not just rare for Philippine coins, it's rare for Spanish colonial gold coins anywhere in the world. As you'd expect, this level of rarity commands serious money. In 2017, a clean XF example sold at auction for over 35,000 USD. In 2020, a better preserved specimen fetched 72,000 USD at a Spanish coin auction. Rumors exist of private collectors paying upwards of 100,000 USD for near uncirculated examples. This coin doesn't just tell a story, it commands prestige. It's a badge of honor for advanced collectors of Filipino, Spanish, and colonial-era gold. Like all rare gold coins, the 1897 peso has attracted counterfeiters. Here's what to watch for. Weight should be about 1.69 grams of 0.875 fine gold. Size diameter is 15 millimeters. Mint mark M. Some fakes use wrong fonts or poor spacing. Portrait detail: real coins have sharp engraving, especially in the Harandir area. Sound and color: genuine gold has a specific ring, and hue. Fakes are often dull or too bright. Only buy from trusted dealers or make sure it's graded by PCs or NGC. Authentication is key. The 1897 Alfonso XIII gold peso isn't just a coin, it's a farewell. A farewell to Spanish power in Asia. A farewell to monarchy in the Philippines. a farewell to centuries of colonial coinage. It stands at the crossroads of revolution and empire. It holds the face of a child king, but tells the story of a dying regime. For Philippine numismatists, it is a final golden whisper from a chapter that ended in fire and freedom. If you're a serious collector of Filipino coins, the 1897 Alfonso XIII gold peso belongs on your dream list. It's elusive, expensive, and historic. Owning it means owning a fragment of colonial history in its final moment, a gold coin minted not in celebration, but in desperation. If you're lucky enough to find one, don't hesitate. It may be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Next up, 1900 for U.S. Philippines proof peso. At the dawn of the 20th century, the United States had just emerged victorious in the Spanish-American War. One of the spoils of that war, the Philippine Islands. From 1898 onward, the Philippines transitioned from over 300 years of Spanish colonial rule to an American Commonwealth, at least in name. In reality, it was the beginning of a new form of colonization. To reflect this political shift, a unique currency system was introduced, the U.S. Philippines coinage, combining American-style coin design with Filipino imagery and local denominations. The first full production year of this coin series was 1903. But in 1904, something special happened. A small number of proof pesos were struck specifically for collectors and dignitaries. This coin was never intended for circulation. It was a presentation piece, a work of minting artistry, produced under the strictest quality standards at the Philadelphia Mint. Let's take a closer look at this majestic coin, starting with the obverse. Obverse features a seated female figure, representing liberty, with a hammer in one hand and anvil beside her. Behind her rises Mount Mayon, an iconic symbol of the Philippine landscape. The inscription reads 1 peso and Filipinas. This is not a US coin with a Filipino face. It is a hybrid, a deliberate merging of American symbolism with Filipino geography and industry. The message was clear: progress, work, and civilization under new management. Reverse bears the American eagle, wings spread, perched on a shield. Above it, the words United States of America. Below, the date 1904. This eagle isn't just decoration. It's a claim, a bold assertion of a sovereignty over a distant land. And unlike standard business strikes, the proof reverse shows exquisite polish and mirror-like fields. So what exactly makes this a proof coin? Proof coins are not just shiny, they're carefully struck multiple times with specially prepared dies. The field's backgrounds are deeply mirrored, while the raised portions or devices are frosted, creating a dramatic cameo contrast. Edges are crisp, strikes are sharp, and no detail is left behind. In 1904, the Philadelphia Mint produced only 1,355 proof pesos, and most were kept in presentation sets or sold to wealthy collectors. Today, fewer than half are believed to survive in high grade. The 1900 for U.S. Philippines proof peso is not just rare, it's iconic. According to PCs and NGC population reports, fewer than 600 examples have been certified. Of those, only a handful exist in proof 66 or higher, making gem examples incredibly scarce. Many were mishandled, improperly cleaned, or lost over the past century. Even more rare are examples with deep cameo contrast, a glimmering white on black effect that collectors adore. If you find one with full mirrors, no hairlines, and original toning, you found a numismatic gem that transcends categories. So how much can a 1904 proof peso fetch? In average proof condition P are 60-63 around 10,000 to 25,000 USD. In choice proof P are 64-65 between 30,000 to 55,000 USD. In PR 66 or higher, especially with cameo contrast 80,000 and to 120,000 plus USD. Top Pops specimens coins graded P or 67 or with deep cameo designation can command over $150,000 at elite auctions. As with all rare coins, price is driven by condition, appeal, and originality. With great value comes great risk. The 1900 for proof peso has been the target of forgers for decades. What to watch for? Reproductions sold as genuine proofs. Business strikes polished to look proof-like. Counterfeits labs mimicking PCs and GC holders. Always buy from trusted dealers and verify serial numbers on grading company websites. If the deal looks too good to be true, it probably is. This coin is more than just a collectible, it's a historical artifact. It represents a transitional moment between colonial powers, between revolution and reconstruction. It is a remnant of US imperial policy, but also a canvas showcasing Filipino identity and resilience. To own a 1900 for proof peso is to hold a piece of the Philippines' contested past, a past that shaped the nation's future. If you're a serious collector of Filipino coins, American colonial issues, or global numismatic rarities, the 1900 for U.S. Philippines proof peso should be at the top of your wish list. It offers rarity, beauty, historical gravitas, and market respect. It's not just silver, it's storytelling. It's not just a peso, it's prestige. If you enjoyed this deep dive into numismatic history, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.